Yo, what's up guys? So today we're going to be showcasing off the Guardians versus a anti-meta deck, but it's got an epic ending. Heck, that was the title of the replay that was sent in over here. But anyways, Guardians is a deck that can definitely benefit off of the newer Master Rule 2020, but it's going to be facing off against like an anti-meta-ish deck. And anti-meta, they definitely need to go turn 1, but with the Spell Mining Cave, aka Mystic Mine, still at multiple, it can still be a really nasty deck to run into. Sometimes if you are unable to stop Mystic Mine, you just straight up lose, because this card just lets them stall and get as many cards as they need to actually pull off their win condition, which you guys will be seeing over here very soon. So we're going to go ahead and see a bunch of cards set over here. We also happen to have Mystic Mine as one of the cards that the anti-meta player has. He's got Mistake, so he's no longer going to be able to cycle through the cards. He's going to go ahead and activate the Demise of the Land, which basically just goes ahead and gives him that Mystic Mine. So now he can no longer attack. This card really needs to be able to get that effect. We're able to negate a spell and trap card, but nonetheless, he let that card go off, and well, this card's just going to go ahead and prevent him from really doing anything. And again, now that this is active, the anti-meta player deck can kind of go off here. This is another excellent card that anti-meta has actually gotten just to be able to go ahead and kind of deal with boards turn 1, because sometimes there's too much negation even in the meta decks. Well, obviously meta decks now have to negate like a lot of cards to be more viable in the game, but then on top of that, you're able to kind of board break, and obviously with the reduction of amount of Orcus players, even though Orcus is still kind of playable, but we'll get into that. That's a topic for another day. And if you guys want to see Orcus with the new ban list, they are still absolutely amazing, surprisingly. But we also see Witch's Strike, which is actually a really cool card that doesn't really get to see play too much. But maybe if the game does happen to slow down eventually, this card will be really good. I mean, unfortunately, it is not a counter trap card, so they can respond to this card's effect with other things. But okay, so here we got some stuff being activated. So we got Mystic Mine reactivated. The Guardian player tries to go ahead and stop that with Light Flare because it goes away for a second over here. But then we also have Crackdown going to be snatchling the Light Flare over here. And then on top of that, that's going to go and stop the Mystic Mine, but you can actually chain Witch's Strike because he attempted to negate that, even though now that this is his card, if your opponent negates the normal or special summon or the activation of card effect, it is going to go ahead and indeed get rid of every single card, and then he just summons a Gren Maju and one-shot. So I thought that was a pretty good duel over there. Really good usage of knowing the mechanics over there now that he took his opponent's card. I mean, that's just mad disrespect to one-shot him after he lost every single card he had. Because he was confident with the Mystic Mine, because eventually you're just going to be able to get a bunch of cards in your hand. I haven't seen someone utilize Witch's Strike as well as that. Yo, drop a like on this video for actually seeing Witch's Strike go off, because I thought this card was going to be super amazing. A lot of you guys also thought this card was going to be super amazing. This card was really expensive when it first came out, and then it dipped real fast. I thought this card was absolutely insane, like broken levels. But sometimes, you know, just the game gets too fast. But anyways, I know you guys saw that gameplay over here, and I gotta give a shout out really quick to our boy Centennial for hooking me up with the replay here. But just in case any of you guys do want this 60 card anti-meta deck, here it is for you guys over here. So 3 copies of Nibiru, 3 copies of Metal Snake, or the Gizmek Orochi, and then 3 copies of Inspector Border, 3 copies of Thunder King. I'm honestly not sure how I feel about Thunder King in 2020. I think that he just kind of lost his ability, but still not letting your opponent search is quite great. But like Inspector Border, I think is like the go-to turn 1 play. And then we got 2 copies of Necroface, so you won't be decking out anytime soon. Then 3 copies of Falsadine, 3 copies of Banisher, 3 copies of Gren Maju Daiza, 3 copies of Eater of Million, 3 copies of Desires, 3 copies of Extravagance, 1 copy of Card Destruction, 2 copies of Demise of the Land, 1 copy of Defissure, 3 copies of Moon Mirror, 3 copies of Spell Mining Cave, 3 copies of Heavy Dust Storm, so you can kind of go +1 with that, and then 3 copies of Witch's Strike, which was absolutely amazing, because again, I really wanted to make a deck revolved around this, but like the problem was is obviously your opponent would see it when you activated the Trap Tricks card, but nonetheless, I thought this card was still so good. The problem with this card, though, honestly, is it's not spell speed 3, so your opponent can still kind of respond to it. if it had that ability to make it so your opponent could not respond to it, or at least spell speed 3. Like if it had the effect of your opponent cannot negate this card's activation or effect, then this card would be so much better. But like its effect is still insane. As you guys saw, it destroys everything that they control and in their hands, so they are left with nothing, which with no monsters left on the field, and you know, if you've gone through some card effects, this card is definitely one-shotting you. And then we got 1 copy of Metaverse, 3 copies of the Sensor Differentiation, or there can only be one as it's called. Then we got Macrocosmos, 2 copies of Crackdown, 2 copies of Goes In, and 3 copies of Mistake. He's not letting you add cards, man. The extra deck doesn't really matter here. It's just for, of course, your targets with Extravagance. Although, if you do happen to have options, I would still suggest running... Utopia can be kind of good sometimes, although he doesn't have the other card. These are just literally fodder cards, because I don't think he's going to be going for anything anytime soon. Although with Crackdown, maybe you can take a tuner. So I would still recommend running maybe a few cards that have access potentially, or maybe he's running these cards specifically due to wanting to run the Ghost. Where is it? Ghost Reaper. That could be another option, and that might be why he's running these cards. But nonetheless, I would still think maybe even adding the Predaplant combo with the Dragon Dark Magician would be a good option, because it's just any 2 cards and you can go right into it. But nonetheless, cool little anti-meta deck, and I love seeing Witch's Strike. He finally activated it. Like I said, I thought this card was really cool, and I think I've actually uploaded like 1 gameplay on this. This is the 2nd upload. This is the first upload of 2020, pulling off the Witch's Strike, which I know it seems easy because your opponent negates everything, like this day and age in Yu-Gi-Oh! But the thing is that it's very rare that this card goes off, and I think it's a very underrated card. Maybe when the format slows, it will see a lot more play. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you are new here, hit subscribe, turn on that bell so you don't miss out on more anti-meta stuff. And I just love covering stuff that, again, isn't, you know, the standard Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks. But we do have a lot more stuff to cover, obviously, with the new ban list that just came out yesterday. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys, and if you guys want to send me other replays like this one or any other crazy stuff, you know what I still want to see? I want to see Orcus with the new bandless Orcus too, so if you guys want to send that in, I'd love to see it. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.